Vidatri Parameshwara Tadapita Vadika Dugata Gatana Vidatri. Hey Krishna Deva Bhavanta Vande, Hey Krishna Deva Bhavanta Vande, Ayama Vilolataya Jasanatana Kalitad Buddha Sabharam, Ayama Vilolataya Jasanatana Kalitad Buddha Sabharam. Nivasatune Tamiham Nindine Vinda Madurim Masaram. Nivasatune Tamiham Vindine Vinda Madurim Masara. Hey Krishna Deva Bhavanta Vande, Hey Krishna Deva Bhavanta Vande. Manmanasamadhukaram arpaya nijapada pankajamakarande. Manasamadhukaram arpaya nijapada pankajamakarande. Krishna Deva Bhavanta Vande, Hey Krishna Deva Bhavanta Vande. Hey Krishna, Hey Krishna, Hey Krishna, Hey Krishna, Hey Krishna, Hey Krishna, Hey. Radhe Jayo Jayo Madhava Daite, Radhe Jayo Jayo Madhava Daite, Okula Tarune Mandala Mahite, Mandala Mahite, Damodara Rati Vardhana Veshe, Harinishkuta Vrinda Vipineshe. Rati Vardhana Veshe, Harinishkuta Vrinda Vipineshe. Radhe Jayo Jayo Madhava Daite, Radhe Jayo Jayo Madhava Daite, Okula Taruni Mandala Mahite, Damodara Rati Vardhana Veshe, Harinishkuta Vrinda Vipineshe. Rati Vardhana Veshe, Harinishkuta Vrinda Vipineshe. Radhe Jayo Jayo Madhava Daite, Radhe Jayo Jayo Madhava Daite, Gokula Taruni Mandala Mahite, Gokula Taruni Mandala Mahite. Vrishavanudari Navasasileke Nite Radhe Jayo Jayo Madhava Daite, Radhe Jayo Jayo Madhava Daite, Gokula Taruni Mandala Mahite, Mandala Mahite. Jayo Radhe Jayo Krishna, Jayo Radhe Jayo Sri Krishna, Krishna Jayo Radhe Jayo Sri Krishna, Jayo Radhe Jayo Krishna, Jayo Radhe Jayo Sri Krishna. Jayo Sachinandan Jayo Gora Hari, Sachinandan Jayo Gora Hari, Jayo Gora Hari, Sachinandan Jayo Gora, Jayo Prabhupada, Jayo Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva. Jaya Vaishnava Thakur, Vaishnava Thakur, Vaishnavi Thakurani, Jaya Vaishnavi Thakurani, Vaishnava Thakur, Jaya Vaishnava Thakur, Vaishnavi Thakurani, Jaya Vaishnavi Thakurani. Haribo. Sacred Vedic Arts, Gaudiya Mat ki Jaya. Oh, the Sacred Vedic Arts. Iskon Gaudiya Mat ki Jai. This is so good how you fix the garland. I had no clue how to do it nicely. From nice. Radhika, yeah.
Radhika, better cover.
This was not nice yesterday, like a loose lady.
I like it like this.
Yeah, but how you fixed with a pin or how?
Yeah.
Otherwise, no possible, no? Yeah. It was really not nice yesterday. But did you fix? No, I didn't know one can use it, nicely. Like with the pin, I mean.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it was really bad.
Can we sing? What's her name? I want to sing the other day. The one of the boat. I like that one so much.
I think it should be Mahamantra. You sing Mahamantra, Prabhuji? Mahamantra? Yeah. Mahamantra can sing. Come on. House.
This will be my first time.
No, let him sing.
Oh, we can do also a little bit.
Let him sing.
Okay. I'm only here for.
Oh my God, I'm gonna turn red here.
Okay. No cameras. You beautiful boys.
Okay.
The mango, are you gonna leave it there for all day?
Yes.
Okay.
Krishna. Okay. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Ramo Ramo Hare Hare. Okay. 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bolo! Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitya Gaura Haribo, 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 Nitya Gaura Haribo. Nitya Gaura Haribo, 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 Nitya Gaura Haribo. Jai Haribo. It's my first time. Oh my God, I'm sweating. It's my first time behind the mic.
The ISKCON sandwich.
If anyone attends, I don't even know if
Yeah.
anyone's going to be.
The morning program, Seva in the day, and then evening program. They call it the ISKCON sandwich. Huh? Because you got the layer, the bread, the morning program layer bread, and the insides are the Sevas of the day, and then the evening program is the top piece of bread.
So what's the best part?
All of it.
All of it. It makes the whole sandwich. You can't just have the bun and you can't just have the filling.
Yeah. Jai. Gyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshurmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Panchakalpachubhascha Kipasindhuvevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Yam Pravajantam Anapetanapetakrityam Dvaipayano Virahaka Taruvajuhava Putre Chitanmayatayo Taravo Banedush Tang Sarvabhutaridayam Munimanatosmi Bhaktya Vihina Aparada Lakshai Chiptascha Kamadi Charangamade Kripa Mai Tvam Sharanam Papadyam Brinde Namaste Charanada Vrindam Tavevasmi, Tavevasmi, Najivami Tambina, Iti Vigairade Tam Nayanam Charanantike. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam, Stapetam Hena Bhutale, Swayam Rupa Kadamayam, Dadati Swapadantikam. Nice. Jai. My very heartfelt obeisances to my beloved Holy Master, Nityalal Vishnu Padasotso Shishimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, also unto Srila Bhakti Vigam Bharti Goswami Maharaj, unto Srila Prabhupada, to our entire Rupa Nuga Varga, and unto Srila Rupa Goswami, who has written this Nectar of Devotion. It's a beautiful, beautiful book, The Complete Science of Bhakti Yoga. And as Syamarani Didi always says, we pray to the book, "O Prabhu, you're not a book. You're Srila Rupa Goswami yourself, Srila Prabhupada yourself, Krishna, the gopis. And may you all help us to realize what we're going to hear, what we're reading." Jai. So we started this several months ago, or a year ago, and we are up to chapter 6, entitled How to Discharge Devotional Service. Srila Rupa Goswami states that his elder brother, Sanatana Goswami, has compiled Hari Bhakti Vilas for the guidance of the Vaishnavas, and therein has mentioned many rules and regulations to be followed by the Vaishnavas. Some of them are very important and prominent, and Srila Rupa Goswami will now mention these very important items for our benefit. The purport of this statement, thank you, is that Srila Rupa Goswami proposes to mention only basic principles, not details. For example, a basic principle is that one has to accept a spiritual master. Exactly how one follows the instructions of his spiritual master is considered a detail. For example, if one is following the instruction of his spiritual master, and that instruction is different from the instructions of another spiritual master, this is called detailed information. But the basic principle of acceptance of a spiritual master is good everywhere, although the details may be different. Srila Rupa Goswami does not wish to enter into details here, but wants to place before us only the principles. He mentions the basic principles as follows. 1. Accepting the shelter of the lotus feet of a bona fide spiritual master. That's amazing. That's number 1. Is this the 64 limbs of Bhakti? 43. Yeah, 60. So this is the 64 limbs of Bhakti. He's delineating. And so the number 1 is accepting a bona fide guru. Number 2, becoming initiated by the spiritual master and learning how to discharge devotional service. 3, obeying the orders of the spiritual master with faith and devotion. So the first 3 principles are all related to Shri Guru. So important. 4, following in the footsteps of great acharyas, teachers, under the direction of the spiritual master. 5, even up to 5 is inquiring from the spiritual master how to advance in Krishna consciousness. 6, being prepared to give up anything material for the satisfaction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna. That means when we are engaged in devotional service of Krishna, we must be prepared to give up something which we may not like to give up. And also we have to accept something which we may not like to accept. Want to give an example?
I love garlic.
Mm-hmm.
I have to give it up for the rules and regulations. I don't actually.
There are a lot of people who like garlic, and a lot of people who like onions.
Yeah, they're like, I can't live without it.
Yeah. Okay. 7, residing in a sacred place of pilgrimage like Dwarka or Vrindavan, or sacred Vedic arts. 8, accepting only what is necessary, or dealing with the material world only as far as necessary. 9, observing the fasting day on Ekadasi. 10, worshipping sacred trees like the banyan tree. Srivati tree in the front. Oh, it's number 10. People? These 10 items are preliminary necessities for beginning the discharge of devotional service and regulative principles. In the beginning, if a neophyte devotee observes the above-mentioned 10 principles, surely he will quickly make good advancement in Krishna consciousness. The next set of instructions is listed as follows. 1. One should rigidly give up the company of non-devotees. 2. One should not instruct a person who is not desirous of accepting devotional service. It's like the 10 offenses, preaching to the faithless. Like when we're on book distribution, sometimes it's happened to, and I see so many people get so caught up with long conversations with Christians or atheists or who just want to argue and not, it's a waste of time when there's 50, 60, 100 people walking by that will be receptive. 3, one should not be very enthusiastic about constructing costly temples or monasteries. Yeah, nice. Sorry? Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But just naturally by serving the deity, then that place will
Right.
manifest.
Is that clear? 4, one should not try to read too many books, nor should one develop the idea of earning his livelihood by lecturing on or professionally reciting Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita. But that's different than what we do, because this is saying professionally.
Right, for money.
Yeah. Argadev would say, puts the Bhagavatam under his arm, thinks I'm going to go now and... Yeah.
I want to remember that, it's like...
And I'm thinking of it too. But...
It's like money. I don't know, like they're just speaking money.
Yeah. Do these Bhagavat Saptahas just for money. 5. Oh, no. Gurudev Ki Jai. Jai. Hare Krishna. 5. One should not be neglectful in ordinary dealings. That's interesting. I know. What does that mean?
Like cleaning the toilet.
Neglectful in ordinary dealings.
I think it means like with people. I think like with people, in the world.
It says, give up the company of non-devotees, but one should not be neglectful in ordinary dealings.
Ordinary dealings.
Yeah, that when because sometimes we have to
Yeah.
different people, about different things. I go buy boga, this, that.
Yeah. Pool man, electrician, the bank. Yeah. 6. One should not be under the spell of lamentation and loss or jubilation and gain. Srivigataspriha. One should 7. One should not disrespect the demigods. 8. One should not give unnecessary trouble to any living entity. 9. One should carefully avoid the various offenses in chanting the holy name of the Lord or in worshiping the deity in the temple. 10. One should be very intolerant toward the blasphemy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, or his devotees. Without following the above-mentioned 10 principles, one cannot properly elevate himself to the platform of sadhana bhakti, or devotional service and practice. Altogether, Srila Rupa Goswami mentions 20 items, and all of them are very important. Out of the 20, the first 3, namely accepting the shelter of a bona fide spiritual master, taking initiation from him, and serving him with respect and reverence are the most important. The next important items are as follows. 1. One should decorate the body with tilak, which is the sign of the Vaishnavas. See, there's so many easy ways to make advancement. That's Srila Rupa Goswami is delineating here. The idea is that as soon as a person sees these marks on the body of the Vaishnav, he will immediately remember Krishna. Wow. Lord Chaitanya said that a Vaishnav is he who, when seen, reminds one of Krishna. Therefore, it is essential that a Vaishnav mark his body with tilak to remind others of Krishna. 2. In marking such tilak, oh my God, just a story. When, because we had the prison program, and when Shyam Prabhu was, he went to death row, and he said that there was like a guy that I think he was like up. He wasn't visiting this guy, but there was a guy that was like, time was coming soon for execution, because they do executions in Florida. And he was like at the door, and he like gave Shyam a look, like they locked eyes, and Shyam said he felt like by this guy seeing his tilak, that it was like he could just like got this like shiver, like, oh, like by the tilak he was able to like make some sort of advancement or some remember, you know, like so he just said he's got this feeling of like maybe he didn't know it was Krishna tilak, but that it was Shyam was, I mean, obviously he's dressed in dhoti tilak, but he just said the guy looked at his tilak, and Shyam could feel that the guy was blessed by seeing the tilak before he died, you know. Yeah. 2, in marking such tilak, sometimes one may write Hare Krishna on the body. 3, one should accept flowers and garlands that have been offered to the deity and the spiritual master and put them on one's body. Hey, thanks for helping me make advancement, Hari Mohini. 4, one should learn to dance before the deity. Aww. That is so sweet. What'd you say? Pardon?
We can't wait that this garland purifies us further.
Ah. 5, one should learn to bow down immediately upon seeing the deity or the spiritual master. 6, as soon as one visits a temple of Lord Krishna, one must stand up. 7, when the deity is being borne for a stroll in the street, a devotee should immediately follow the procession. In this connection, it may be noted that in India, especially in Vishnu temples, the system is that apart from the big deity, who is permanently situated in the main area of the temple, there is a set of smaller deities which are taken in procession in the evening.
We should take Radha Govinda out tonight.
Wow. Really? Or Gornitai? Yeah, we're gonna go to the park tonight, so they can sit. Yeah. Okay. Jai.
And then in Brazil, they take this big Neem Mahaprabhu everywhere.
Wow.
It's part of which temple? I think Rio. No, not the Rio temple. I think it might be. What's that place called? Anyways, one town, Santos
Hmm.
temple. A small temple.
Nice.
There's one lady brings Mahaprabhu
Aw.
everywhere. Sets up in all the programs.
Oh, so sweet.
No,
In Brazil. The deities come out onto the street and travel in the neighborhood while the people of the neighborhood come out to offer prasad. The residents of the neighborhood all follow the procession, so it is a very nice scene. When the deity is coming out, the servitors in the temple put forward the daily accounts before them. Oh. So much was the collection, so much was the expenditure. The whole idea is that the deity is considered to be the proprietor of the whole establishment, and all the priests and other people taking care of the temple are considered to be the servants of the deity. This system is very, very old and is still followed. So therefore it is mentioned here that when the deity is on stroll, the people should follow behind. Sweet. 8, a devotee must visit a Vishnu temple at least once or twice every day, morning and evening. In Vrindavan, this system is followed very strictly. All the devotees in town go every morning and evening to visit different temples. Therefore, during these times, there are considerable crowds all over the city. There are about 500 temples in Vrindavan city. Of course, it is not possible to visit all the temples, but there are at least 12 very big and important temples which were started by the Goswamis and which should be visited. That's so sweet, going like in the morning to all the temples, and then you see like all the same people. It's like so family. So nice. 9, one must circumambulate the temple building at least 3 times. In every temple, there is an arrangement to go around the temple at least 3 times. Some devotees go around more than 3 times, 10 times, 15 times, according to their vows. The Goswamis used to go circumambulate Govardhan Hill. One should also circumambulate the whole Vrindavan area. So we get to go around the whole block. 10. One must worship the deity in the temple according to the regulative principles, offering arti and prasad, decorating the deity, etc. These things must be observed regularly. 11. One must render personal service to the deities. 12. One must sing. Oh, it's a sweet one. Yay, Tripurari sang today. That's nice. 13. One must perform Sankirtan. Woo! 14. One must chant. 15. One must offer prayers. 16. One must recite notable prayers. That's interesting. 15. One must offer prayers. 16. One must recite notable prayers.
Maybe first is like prayers.
Our own.
And then like a charge.
Just look at verses. Every mantra is a prayer. 17. One must take Mahaprasad, food from the very plate offered before the deities. 18. One must drink Charnamrit, water from the bathing of the deities, which is offered to guests. 19. One must smell the incense and flowers offered to the deity. That's a good one. 20. One must touch the lotus feet of the deity. Oh. Is that allowed? I mean, is it...
I don't know. Prajapati Guru said in all the Hindu temples, they always try to touch the feet of Thakurji. So here he wants to do so badly, but he doesn't know if it's proper.
Yeah.
He's like always coming and wanting to touch.
Aww.
Wake up, Pujari.
Yeah. But that's only one person. 21. One must see the deity with great devotion. 22. One must offer arti at different times. 23. One must hear about the Lord and his pastimes from Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and similar books. 24. One must pray to the deity for his mercy. 25. One should remember the deity. 26. One should meditate upon the deity. 27. One should render some voluntary service. 28. One should think of the Lord as one's friend. 29. One should offer everything to the Lord. 30. One should offer a favorite article, such as food or a garment. 31. One should take all kinds of risks and perform all endeavors for Krishna's benefit. Oh. 32. In every condition, one should be a surrendered soul. Makes it sound so easy. 33. One should pour water on the tulsi tree. 34. One should regularly hear Srimad Bhagavatam and similar literature. 35. One should live in a sacred place like Mathura, Vrindavan, or Dwarka. 36. One should offer service to Vaishnavas, devotees. 37. One should arrange one's devotional service according to one's means. 38. In the month of Kartik, October, November, one should make arrangements for special services. 39. During Janmashtami, the time of Krishna's appearance in this world, one should observe a special service. Janmashtami, Krishna's birthday, in August. 40. One should do whatever is done with great care and devotion for the deity. 41. One should relish the pleasure of Bhagavatam reading among devotees and not among outsiders. 42. One should associate with devotees who are considered more advanced. 43. One should chant the holy name of the Lord. Some of these are kind of repeated. 44. One should live in the jurisdiction of Mathura. Didn't that already happen twice?
Yeah. I wonder if the Sanskrit is different. It means something else.
That would be interesting. Now the total regulative principles come to an aggregate of 64 items. So these are the 64 limbs of bhakti. As we have mentioned, the first are the primary 10 regulative principles. Then come the secondary 10 regulative principles. And added to these are 44 other activities. So altogether there are 64 items for discharging the regulative practice of devotional service. Out of these 64 items, 5 items, namely worshipping the deity, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, associating among the devotees, Sankirtan, and living in Mathura are very important. You know that verse?
No, but I know it's
From CC.
Morty Shodaya.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know the whole sloka though. Sorry,
The 64 items of devotional service should include all of our activities of body, mind, and speech. As stated in the beginning of the regulative principles of devotional service, enjoins that all of our senses must be employed in the service of the Lord. Exactly how they can be thus employed is described in the above 64 items. Now, Srila Rupa Goswami will give evidence from different scriptures supporting the authenticity of many of these points.
What's interesting is how much he mentions the faith in the deity.
Yeah,
I mean, this is like Vaidhi sadhana,
right.
but very important thing.
Yeah. All right, let's just read the first 3 about the guru and then we'll call it a day. But it is a really good point because I think a lot of times, especially in temples, it's like, I feel like even though our days revolve around Thakurji with arti and offerings, still sometimes it doesn't, it's, yeah, at least for myself, I feel like it's,
I understand. They're like here, but we don't think they're here.
Yeah.
We think they're somewhere else.
yeah.
So by deity, they always mean
Mhm. Yeah. Okay, so the first one was,
Guru Padashray,
which means,
taking shelter of bona fide guru.
okay. So it says in the 11th canto, Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd chapter, verse 21, Prabhupada tells Maharaj Nimi, "My dear king, please know for certain that in the material world there is no happiness. It is simply a mistake to think that there is happiness here, because this place is full of nothing but miserable conditions. Any person who is seriously desirous of achieving real happiness must seek out a bona fide spiritual master and take shelter of them by initiation." So that's like how we sing Samsara Dava Nava Lita Loka every morning. You know, this suffering in this blazing forest.
I wanted to say on Vyas Puja, but yes, today is for Vyas Puja, but every day is for Vyas Puja.
Yeah, it's true. The qualification of a spiritual master is that they must have realized the conclusion of the scriptures by deliberation and arguments, and thus be able to convince others of all these conclusions. Such great personalities who have taken shelter of the Supreme Godhead, leaving aside all material considerations, are to be understood as bona fide spiritual masters. Everyone should try to find such a bona fide spiritual master in order to fulfill his mission of life, which is to transfer himself to the plane of spiritual bliss. The purport is that one should not accept as a spiritual master someone who is fool number one, who has no direction according to the scriptural injunctions, whose character is doubtful, who does not follow the principles of devotional service, or who has not conquered the influence of the 6 sense gratifying agents. The 6 agents of sense gratification are the tongue, genitals, belly, anger, mind, and words. Anyone who has practiced controlling these 6 is permitted to make disciples all over the world. Mm-hmm. Good. To accept such a spiritual master is the crucial point for advancement in spiritual life. One who is fortunate enough to come under the shelter of a bona fide spiritual master is sure to traverse the path of spiritual salvation without any doubt. We're so fortunate, to have that Sukriti to accept a spiritual master. And I meet so many people, I'm sure you meet so many people on book distribution who say, I'm God, I'm my own guru, everything's within me. That, what?
Guru is a hard principle in the West.
Yeah, really hard. Yeah. Okay, second, accepting initiation from the spiritual master, receiving instructions from him. Sage Prabhupada continued to speak to the king as follows. My dear king, a disciple has to accept the spiritual master not only as spiritual master, but also as the representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the Supersoul. What's that called? The representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Ashray Bhagavan.
I thought you were talking about that verse that I myself am the
I was actually thinking Shakshadri.
Shakshadri.
Yeah. But all answers were correct.
Or Bhakta Bhagavat.
Bhakta Bhagavat, that's a good one. In other words, the disciple should accept the spiritual master as God because he is the external manifestation of Krishna. This is confirmed in every scripture, and a disciple should accept the spiritual master as such. One should learn Srimad Bhagavatam seriously and with all respect and veneration for the spiritual master. Hearing and speaking Srimad Bhagavatam is the religious process which elevates one to the platform of serving and loving the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The attitude of the disciple should be to satisfy the bona fide spiritual master. Then it will be very easy for him to understand spiritual knowledge. This is confirmed in the Vedas, and Rupa Goswami will further explain that for a person who has unflinching faith in God and the spiritual master, everything becomes revealed very easily. Okay. And the third one, serving the spiritual master with faith and confidence. Regarding accepting initiation from the spiritual master, in the 11th canto, Srimad Bhagavatam, 17th chapter, verse 27, it is stated by Lord Krishna, My dear Uddhav, the spiritual master must be accepted not only as my representative, but as my very self. He must never be considered on the same level with an ordinary human being. One should never be envious of the spiritual master, as one may be envious of an ordinary man. The spiritual master should always be seen as the representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and by serving the spiritual master, one is able to serve all the demigods. Jai. So we'll end it there, and then we'll read, I guess, next Wednesday, unless some other special guest appears on a Wednesday, the rest of this evidence regarding devotional principles. No, because we were going to do Nectar Devotion last night, and then Guru Das Prabhu came. That class was so inspiring. I really loved that he stressed, that he said twice. He said that it was the beginning of the movement, and so it was that they did everything together. It was so nice. I love that point of...
Even the story, they were in Kumbh Mela, and then somebody needed help in Germany, and Prabhupada just flew somebody out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Flew somebody out.
Yeah, it was so moving. Guru Das Prabhu, you heard it online?
He looked like an interesting personality.
Yeah, yeah. I really, me and Kanaka were both one. He arranged the concert in San Francisco for Prabhupada in 1967 with Janis Joplin and like the Grateful Dead, and we both wanted to ask, but we were too shy. We should have. Yeah, yeah. But it was so cool to see. Then he even asked, like, because Didi was in New York. That was the first temple, and then they came like a few months
Yeah,
after.
he wasn't even a devotee yet, like really, when he did that.
Yeah, he wasn't. Yeah, yeah. Just his friend became a devotee, then went from New York to San Francisco, and then they did this concert. We're like, let's raise money and bring Prabhupada here, and so San Francisco. So, oh, so it was so cool to hear, like, someone here from the first temple, and then someone here from the second temple, and how they had no bradanga.
And they used to wear funky purple hats and stuff, and like weird drapes and stuff. And they're like, wait, why are they allowed to do all this?
Yeah, San Francisco was more hippie-ish, more like flowery, flower power, and
They
and
didn't even have mridanga as anything.
and New York was,
Like kettlebell.
yeah, yeah. Even though New York was also hippie, it was a little more formal. Like, although Syamarani told me that there would be like people that would put like weird thing like paper bags over their head, and so like chant, thinking they're all like being all spiritual by blocking everything out by a paper bag. But it was a really special class.
To share something that I heard from somebody who used to see the Hare Krishnas in New York, who came to visit us, and he said back then it was like a counterculture, but now I just see that it's reality. He came recently to tour the temple with the city.
Wow.
It was that one guy, Danny.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
I remember it. Yeah, he said, and now I see it's just reality.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
The impressions that Sankirtan can make. That was also a big thing he was speaking about Guru.
Mhm.
Also, he was saying how, like, Krishna isn't really accepting, like, doing so many rounds or this many, this, that, only like our natural inclination,
Mhm.
our mood.
Yeah.
So it's a hard thing to remember.
I know. I know.
So, like, really, Krishna is like the dearest friend.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's why even Rupa Goswami is saying one of the things is to see the Lord as
Someone's dear friend.
dear friend.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so sweet. Makes me think of Janmashtami, like how our Gurudev would always arrange this huge Janmashtami festival, like huge, thousands and thousands of people. And he would say he didn't chant externally on his beads any rounds all day, but in his mind he's chanting, he's constantly chanting, but just to bring people to see Krishna, his best friend. He's getting the whole of it, like all of Vrindavan, all of Mathura, all of Govardhan, like everyone would come. And the night, and it was, and Gurudev would sit there from 6 till midnight, watching all kinds of dances and presentations. And he said he would do like really big, like things like that, so everyone would have a reason to come for darshan of Radha Vinoba Bihari. And Gurudev would stay out till midnight, and I would think like, wow, why doesn't he go back to his room? It's so late, but. Yeah, and the night before, Shripad Madam Raj would arrange a parade through Mathura. It was so ecstatic, and with bands and horses and elephant, and yeah, Mahaprabhu would be on top of the elephant, and we'd go through all of Mathura, and like as we're going by, everyone would come. There's balconies. Everyone would come to their balcony to see the parade going by. And then there was Srimati Maharaj arranged like dioramas. When you walk into the temple, there would be this like super cool diorama with like water and like Vasudev holding baby Krishna, carrying him across the Jamuna. It was so amazing. I was actually thinking after seeing Subal Prabhu's slideshow that one day, I don't know, one day, we never have time, but I would love to like show my personal pictures, and like since 2003, and like then share stories based off my pictures. So, aw, I would love to do it.
Inspire so many projects.
Hmm. Maybe for my birthday party, I'll show pictures and share. No, soon. Birthday soon. June 25th. Mhm.
Because mine is also on the 25th of
Oh,
February.
February. Yeah, yeah. So today we're so fortunate. Hmm? 25th. But I'll be back. I'm gonna actually celebrate it at Friday. Oh, you won't be here. Friday night kirtan on the 27th. Cause June. I'll be back from Badger on the 26th.
Oh, you'll be in Badger?
I'll be in Badger.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyways, we'll pick a day. We'll do that. It'll be nice.
Maybe before then.
Could. It'd have to be next week though. I leave on the 8th. Birth month, exactly. Jai. Srila Rupa Goswami ki, Nectar of Devotion ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Gurudev ki jai. Gaur Premanandi. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gora Haribo, Haribo, Haribo. Nitai Gora Haribo, Nitai Gora Haribo, Haribo. Haribo, Gora Haribo. Hari Haribo.